good afternoon to you all. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. It is Philippines Football League action dito po mula sa Rizal Memorial Stadium. It is already match week number 7 already, and it's been a blast, of course, covering and bringing the Philippines Football League action to you. Check na natin po ang ating schedule ngayon. May triple header dito ngayong Sabado or this Saturday. Ang first game nga ulit ay Maharlika Taguig FC versus Don Bosco Garelli. Two teams in the lower half of the table trying to get themselves going and chasing wins or points. Mamaya naman po may Stallion Laguna FC versus Menjola FC 1991, two established Philippines Football League teams. At mamaya ho, mabigat din ang ating main event. Siyempre, ang Davao Aguilas UMAC FC versus 1 Taguig FC ng alas 9 ng gabi. This is Clara Manzano on call for this match. Ako po ang inyong commentator, at kung matche-check nga natin ulit, it is Maharlika Taguig FC versus DB Garelli United or Don Bosco Garelli United FC. Number 11 ang Maharlika sa standings. Ang Don Bosco naman, Don Bosco Garelli ay number 13. And it is important for these teams to get their wins, of course, because they want to chase our top teams. Check natin ang standings. Doon nga makikita natin ulit. Number 11 versus number 13. Kung manalo yung Maharlika Taguig FC, they will jump to 9th place at makakahabol sila with the likes of Loyola FC. Dito naman para sa Don Bosco Garelli FC, kung manalo po sila mamaya, magiging 12th place sila. And of course, a win is a win here at kailangan nila to habulin. One win will give you 3 points sa inyong standings. Isang draw ay 1 point at yung talo, 0 points. At i-check nga natin yung mga teams natin. First and foremost dito sa Maharlika, last 3 matches, medyo okay kasi nanalo nga sila versus Philippine Air Force recently to bounce back sa mga talo nila versus Cebu and Kaya. So, will they be able to make it 2 straight? Yan po ang mahalagang tanong as we will eventually carry over and switch sides, because this is a chance to check on the form of our 2 teams. But first and foremost, it is the pre-match ceremonies.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Let us welcome the teams of Maharlika Taguig FC and Don Bosco Garelli United FC.
At ito na po, kita natin na ang ating match official, si Chris Mark Nanyola ay ang referee, si Merlo Albano at si Gilbert Celoterio ay ang ating linesmen. Sila po in charge sa offside. Si Mick John Pineda ay ang fourth official. Si Christian Dale Soriano ay ang referee assessor. At si Mr. Mark Ian Baldo ay ang ating match commissioner. At kita rin ang mga team captains natin ngayon. Si Gael Basana ay ang captain sa Maharlika Taguig. Pero dito nga tayo mag-zoom in sa DB Garelli FC. So alam naman natin nanalo sila 4-2 versus Menjola to get their first win, pero nahirapan sila after 3 straight losses. Yan ang nangyari sa kanila. So mahalaga makaka-bounce back sila. natalo ang DB Garelli FC 4-1 versus Tuloy FC sa Don Bosco Derby natin. Pero may isang consolation, nakagol po sila doon at tandaan natin si Jules Comoin ay ang kanilang leading scorer at siya nga ang umiscore nung huling laro. Kita nga natin ang Maharlika Taguig ay naka-white uniforms and ito ang kanilang starting 11. As we can see here, naka 5-4-1 formation sila, undermanned sila ulit. Pero sabi nga ni Coach Nemuel Onabia, kahit underman sila, itong group daw, maganda ang attendance nila sa training at promising ang kanilang performance. At mahalaga doon si Lucas Del Rosario. Kita nga natin ang DB Garelli FC, naka-orange uniforms. We will look at their starting 11. As expected, naka 4-4-2 formation sila. Isang basic formation na pwede gamitin sa depensa at opensa. Ang mga mahalaga doon ay sila Jules Comoin, Django Bad Johnson. Si Johnson madalas kasabay ni Comoin. Pero ngayon siya ay center midfielder. At ito na po. This match is off. Maharlika again, naka-white po sila. Yung DB Garelli FC ay naka-orange. Check na natin anong gagawin nila sa early stages ng ating laro. Dito sa gitna, dito naman daw sa kaliwa. Long ball dito pero binalik sa gitna. Check na natin paano didiskarte ang DB Garelli. Ang nahulog na si MJ Libre, walang pito doon mula sa ating referee. Pero ito na, gusto ni Libre bumawi. Basana. Outside ang bola at babalik ito sa... or pupunta ang bola dito sa DB Garelli FC. Maganda yun, pinakita ni Johnson. Pero not on the same page with his teammate na si Sancho. Siguro yan din isang dahilan bakit nasa gitna si Johnson nga kasi magaling siya dumribol. Gold. Madalas off the bench si Gold dito para sa Maharlika. Pero let's see paano siya makakatulong dito mula right back. Long throw. Pero mukhang may foul dito, sabi ng ating linesman. We see a closer look na here. And our captain again for Maharlika Taguig na si Gael Basana. Si Basana ngayon ay ang kanilang striker. DB Garelli will try to go on the right. Na kay Lucas Del Rosario, foul daw, sabi ni Chris Mark Nanyola. The story here for Lucas Del Rosario o ang istorya dito, he did play in the soccer tournament, a 7-a-side, or essentially the 7-a-side World Cup, where we saw Anton Del Rosario, Maharlika's owner, field a team. Del Rosario, being a Filipino, approached Lucas Del Rosario, being a Filipino, approached Anton as this through ball was looking promising, but the keeper eventually got it in John Misagal. They will try to bounce back. So kung ituloy lang natin ang kwento, Lucas Del Rosario did approach Anton, of course, with both Del Rosarios being Filipino. Lucas introduced himself and Anton got him a spot in Maharlika. As we see, may chance dito. Sa loob ng box. It goes over the bar. Wala. Again, that's just to wrap up the story of how Lucas Del Rosario made his way here to the Philippines, playing collegiate football or soccer as it's called in the United States. Del Rosario, Filipino, but did play for the U.S. youth national team at the U18 level with a number of friendlies. We just saw a look at the collision earlier. Well, this is tough to see one of your men down quickly, especially with Jules Comoin, the Ivorian. MJ Libre sending his apologies. So Mamadou Sene, ang goalkeeper ng Maharlika, will resume play. Sene from Senegal. Nkoa playing in the center of midfield. Tandaan natin, madalas striker siya. Nkoa, naka-2 goals in their opener versus Tuloy FC. But Gab Abo gave us the winner in that game. That was the opener. But there was a shot taken that was denied. Ang tira na yun, mukha kay Bode Oladipo. Pero outside ang bola dito, sayang ang oportunidad ng Maharlika Taguig. Nawala ni Jonathan Gold. Kita nga natin, gold na gold ang kanyang buhok dito. Pero dito magre-reset naman ang DB Garelli. They will cycle the ball. Hanap sila ng butas. Ang gana ng, or what a flick right there to get it now. That is why we have this opportunity. Will they cross? Tinapik ng goalkeeper. May chance dito. Pero wala na naman para sa DB Garelli. That shot again from Bode Oladipo. Sayang na sayang nun. Check natin ang replay dito. We got this spell because of that lovely flick in the midfield. The keeper working hard. But there was space for Oladipo to shoot. But it was no good. They tried to get this one to Kyle Basana. But no good. Basang-basa ng depensa ng Garelli. Obo. Kay Mahinay. Dito naman kay Zorbito. Balak niya ibigay kay Oladipo at yun. Dahil nakuha ni Kumoin. So far so good para kay Kumoin dito sa midfield. Pero nasa ating goalkeeper nga ulit si Mamadou Sene. So tandaan natin or just a reminder, of course, Johnson is playing in the middle in hopes of supporting the midfield, and that is why we got a chance like that. And kay MJ Libre. The defense of Garelli was there. It's with Lucas Del Rosario, nagmamadali. Trying to use his speed. This one, a little overplayed, but the keeper didn't get a good grip on it. And kay Obo. Check that, sorry, it's Solomon Obu. My apologies. Solomon Obu again, capable of playing in the center of defense, o center back, ang tawag sa posisyon na yan. Pero nandito kay Junior Mahili. Thank you, MJ Libre, for teaching us how to pronounce Junior Mahili's name properly. Tandaan natin si Junior Mahili. Ang Pinoy na pangalan niya ay Suki. Ang dahilan dun, of course, sa laro nila versus Air Force or in their game versus Air Force. Madalas tumutulong siya sa opensa. At yan naging pangalan niya, bigla. And there's a look at Jonathan Gold, who will resume play with his throw-in. DB Garelli getting a stronger start because of the shots that they took. But they still need to get more venom to make the keeper work. Pero ito nga si Gael Basana, nasa kanan. Si Suke. Pero basang-basa ng depensa nun. Gold. The cross. Pero walang problema daw dun para kay John Misagal. At dito sila ngayon. Kay Pullen. Solomon Obu. That 4-4-2 formation working well for them. Patient play from DB Garelli. You like what you were seeing. We got to talk to assistant coach of DB Garelli, Ram Tarin, and he did say that they want to make sure that they do not repeat their mistakes and that they improve as a team. That is what is essential. Coach Ram, as we know, involved back in the day with the Laguna FA, where he is from, and was largely involved in the futsal community with the likes of the Galacticos. As Maharlika pounced on the counter and got it forward, there's a look at Zorbito. Zorbito, yung center back nga ng DB Garelli kasama ni Mahinay. Before, of course, Garelli would like to get their attack going, they will have to make sure that they are sound and stable on defense o sa depensa. They will negotiate this traffic. As they switched it over and saw space na kay Bulin. Bulin with the man on him. Kumoin. And there was Dave Basso's positioning enough along with the rest of the team. At nakuha ulit ni Sene ulit. Sene will just take his time as he'd like to kill the momentum of the opposing team. And we look back at their previous game, as we know, Maharlika regularly created chances with their pace to give the Philippine Air Force a problem. That is why Maharlika won 4-2. And Mahili's goal could be a candidate for best of the season as MJ Libre found him at the edge of the goalkeeper area and chipped the ball well over Zaldi Abraham. That made the game 3-0. Libre, taga Tondo, Manila. Tandaan nga natin, na-spot si MJ Libre ng Maharlika FC nung pandemya. As there was a long ball, pero mukhang tinapik ng player ng Maharlika. And that is why, yan ang dahilan kung bakit nakuha ni Mamadou Sene ulit. So let's look this time around further at DB Garelli FC. It's been a roller coaster of a season for both teams, actually. A 4-1 defeat to Tuloy FC previously, but it was big they scored a goal behind Jules Comoin, the Ivorian. But what is nice to see, or great to see, is that Garelli has shown fine play ngayong season nito. But if they want to get the results, of course, they'll need Johnson and Comoin to be at their best, and of course, their team will need to stay solid on defense behind the likes of Zorbito and Mahinay. Silang dalawang nasa gitna ng depensa ngayong hapon. And as we say that, of course, they're trying to get this one and find their men up front. They came close to finding Jules Comoin, pero kita nga natin, bad trip siya. And with Jules Comoin and Django Bad Johnson, they can create problems for the entire Philippines Football League, especially if Garelli can get themselves going as a team and working well on defense. Na kay Comoin ngayon, kontra Gold. Comoin, cut back sana. Pero wala yung tira na yun. Nahingi sila ng corner kick sana. Pero last touch daw sila, ang DB Garelli. Pero so far, so good ang pinapakita nila. Check na natin yung previous play. Comoin versus Gold. Kita nga natin dito. Ginagamit ang kanyang speed. Or he is using his speed well. The play to resume already as we see here. Check na natin ang schedule for today. Dito po sa Rizal Memorial Stadium ulit. Mamaya, 6:15 p.m. may Stallion Laguna FC versus Mindiola FC 1991. Dalawang veteranong PFL squads, or two very experienced Philippines Football League squads, will go at it. Stallion and Mindiola out to bounce back from their previous performances. Stallion with that loss to Davao, or undefeated Davao Aguilas UMAC. Yung Mindiola naman, nakadraw versus Philippine Army FC. First point of the season yan. Ang Philippine Army as nakaisuki ngayon. Muntik na dun sana magka-opening goal. Pero yan ang dahilan kung bakit suki ang tawag natin kay Junior Mahili. Junior Mahili again, called suki for being a regular customer on the offense of Maharlika. Isang halimbawa ito rito. That is one example. Kita nga natin may konting bangga dun, pero medyo inis siya dun. Muntik na, pero wala. So we mentioned, nabanggit natin yung second game mamaya, Stallion versus Mindiola. Pero may isang mabigat na matchup mamaya. Davao Aguilas UMAC FC ni Coach Aberjan Rusgal will square off with Taguig FC of Coach Giovanni Villagracia. That's another game with championship implications as Maharlika will get this out of the way. Nakuha ni Lucas Del Rosario. And Maharlika will try to pounce on the counter. But Agodos did clamp him down there. Libre couldn't get to Suki. And who will secure it? Such control there though. That was from Johnson. He just ran into traffic. There is a reason why he is in center mid. As Solomon Obo will try to track this down. Magbasana tried to keep it in play and he did indeed. Pero nakuha ni Sobu. Naging regalo bigla kahit hindi pa Pasko. If we take a look at our possession so far in this one, it slightly favors DB Garelli. One shot for them and one on target. They did get Mamadou Sene to work a bit earlier also, as we know. But you love this from them. Patient play, using that 4-4-2 to get the ball up quickly. Check naman natin yung schedule bukas. Sa Philippines Football League games ulit, pero saglit lang. May forward ball dito para sa Garelli. Pero nakuha ni Mamadou Sene, napakaswabe nun. Nakuha niya. Dave Basa, isang assistant coach ng UST. UST finishing third in the UAAP. As here comes Lucas Del Rosario, nagmamadali, binigay sa kanyang kakampi. But looks like it was, or Maharlika couldn't secure it, pero may corner kick daw sila. So we were just mentioning, of course, the coach of the team of Coach Dave Basa that is in the collegiate or university ranks. The University of Santo Tomas finishing third as we see Solomon Obu who is down. This is a cause for concern. But when we look at it again, yung schedule natin bukas, sensya na po sa delay. United City FC and Manila Monte will square off with our curtain raiser. Yung unang laban po, 3:30 bukas sa Rizal Memorial ulit. You can also catch Tuloy FC and Manila Digger square off at 6:15. At yung huling game bukas ay Army versus Loyola at 9 o'clock sa Rizal Memorial Stadium. At ito ang corner kick para sa Maharlika. Mutik na nakuha ni Coach Dave Basa. Dave Basa, of course, one of the taller players. That is why he is up front. Although even though he is a defender. So may triple header nga ulit bukas dito sa Rizal Memorial Stadium, pero may game o laro din sa Talisay in Cebu sa Dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex. Cebu FC will host the Philippine Air Force as there is this through ball overhit again, but they came close to getting to the likes of Baclason. And Baclason playing right striker alongside Kumoin. Ang dahilan nga ulit kasi naging center midfielder na si Django Ba Johnson. Nakuha ni Zorbito pero may foul dito. And the foul is against player number 14, Sancho. You don't want to give a foul away there, but it's all smiles between Chris Mark Nanyola and Django Ba Johnson. There's the respect, of course. Nandun ang respeto, siyempre. Kailangan din ng respeto, siyempre, sa mga match officials natin. Kung wala yung match officials, wala po tayong game. Of course, games are able to push through with our referees and all the officials who are working hard behind the scenes. Three-man wall here for DB Garelli. May tatlo dito sa, pwede nga natin sabihin, pader ng DB Garelli. As we see two talented young stars for Maharlika standing up to the plate. MJ Libre and Lucas Del Rosario. One from Manila, one from the USA. Pero parehas Pinoy. Del Rosario takes it. Pero wala. That shot definitely over the bar. As we saw with our possession, 37-63. Pabor ang DB Garelli United dito. And with us mentioning, of course, Lucas Del Rosario, as we'll break down the scorers dito para sa Maharlika. We have a triple tie for Maharlika FC in their leading scorers. Si Victor Encoa, Lucas Del Rosario, and Gab Abo have 2 goals each. As Del Rosario was floored, walang pito dito mula sa ating referee. Pero si Encoa, binigay dito daw sa kabila. Yung Garelli nahingi ng offside. And that is what they get. And it's called by the linesman. Behind the likes of Encoa, Del Rosario, and Abo, we do have MJ Libre, Junior Suk Mahil, and Gael Bazana with 1 goal each. As you like this from Garelli, you love the confidence growing over the course of the season. Kasi tandaan nga natin yung Garelli so far ngayon. 1 loss and 5 losses. 13th place ang Don Bosco Garelli. Tandaan nga natin. Out of 15 teams dito sa Philippines Football League season. Yung Maharlika Taguig naman, number 11. So i-check na natin yung goal scorers ng DB Garelli so far this season. As they are trying to get their way out of the back. Si Jules Cumoin, may 4 goals na. Naka 3 goals o hat-trick versus Benjola FC 1991 at naka-goal or umiscore din siya versus Tuloy FC. May clearance doon mula sa goalkeeper. At kung i-check din natin na si John Tirado, isang goal scorer this season para sa koponan ni Coach Carl Claudio with 2 goals to his name, a brace. Versus, or he did score a brace also. We'll just double check where he scored that. Pero may chance dito sa kaliwa. Will they cross? He sent it to Lucas Del Rosario, but it was read by the defense. Gael Basana took that, pero nakuha ni John Misagal. So far, so good dito para kay John Misagal. Kailangan na nila bumawi as a team. Mag-check na natin ang replay. 1 shot on target or an additional shot on target for Maharlika Taguig FC. Pero nandito si Del Rosario, hinahanap si Suke. Pero nandun naman si Misagal. Nabanggit nga natin sila Zorbito at Mahinay para sa DB Garelli. But other than that, wag natin kalimutan yung role ni John Misagal bilang goalkeeper, of course. Mahalaga, nandun sila ang dalawang center back at ang goalkeeper on the same page na may chemistry. As we see here, Maharlika, their defense waiting in the midfield. Ayaw nila mag-press. Tawag dun sa Maharlika, midfield block with putting their team in the center of the field. Here comes DB Garelli getting forward, trying to give it now to Kumoin on the right wing versus Dave Basa. Naghahanap ng kakampi. Kumoin pa rin. Great tackle from Basa. And Del Rosario gets this, a box-to-box effort from him. What is interesting is we see Gab Abo playing on the left, his usual position. But the formation we had drawn out had him playing at center back in the 5-4-1. But again, Abo, usually a player on the wing. Pero may counter-attack dito ang DB Garelli. Nandito ngayon kay Baclason. Kumoin. Nasa loob ng goalkeeper box. Pati si Johnson. Kumoin, header pero wala. Di siya naniniwala dun. Siyempre, dahil nagkamali siya. Check natin ang replay dito. Binigay kay Baclason. We saw the cross was too high. Habulin din sana ni Johnson pero outside na ang bola nun. So we look at the teams again in these teams in the standings. Maharlika with 2 wins and 3 losses, scoring 9 goals. but conceding 26. Pero pwede pa sila bumawi dito. 2 spots below ay ang Don Bosco Garelli FC. 1 win so far. As a cross was denied. It was intended for Basana pero nandito si Lucas Del Rosario. Del Rosario pa rin. Being calm amidst the defense. They will reset. Kita nga natin medyo kita nila traffic. Kaya may long ball dito. Bibigay sana kay Gold. Nasa loob pa rin ang bola. Jonathan Gold just gave it away cheaply. Coach Lemuel Onabe was not loving that. Mukhang wala si Coach Lurch Enjang ng Maharlika Taguig FC kaya si Assistant Coach Lemuel ang in charge ngayon dito para sa koponan ng Taguig. At nakita nga natin sa DB Garelli umalis or nag-depart si Coach Joel Villarino or Coach Joel Villarino and DB Garelli parted ways. So team manager Mr. Carl Claudio will take charge again of this team. Coach Carl, as we know, was their coach in the Copa Paulino Alcantara. Action on the left, Abo. Del Rosario. DB Garelli also staying disciplined in that midfield block. They do not want to press, of course. Gagamitin nila ang kanilang depensa. As there's a duel now between the likes of Uy and Kumoin. So back and forth. Otoyemi. Hinahanap si Gold. Pero ang kuwang-kuha ni Oladipo. Baka nagtatanong kayo, ano siya ni Victor Oladipo? Pasensya na, hindi ko alam. Okay nga, pinapakita ng dalawang koponan so far. 26 minutes in already. 0-0 pa rin tayo. Both teams have been testing each other with their discipline and will. Possession now at 40-60. Pabor pa rin ng Garelli. Pero nandito kay MJ Canicosa libre. Suke. Junior Mahili pa rin. At binaton nila rito kay Jules Comoin. This is what they like to do. Try to take a strike though, but Basa was there to still change it up. Comoin tried to keep it in. And does that in the process. Jules Comoin, of course, incredible in the counterattack. That is how they scored their goals in their win versus Minjola FC, as we saw right here. It seemed to take a touch off of Basa, kaya may corner kick po ang Garelli. Bodies in the box, pero short daw ang pasa natin. Kumoin yung cross. Napik ni Basana. Pero home run daw ang bola nito. At kita nga natin po, may cooling break tayo. Parang nagiging mini timeout po ito dahil sa init sa Pilipinas. So with the cooling break, of course, this is discussed before the games. The officials get to talk about it with the teams now. It's important to stay hydrated. Tandaan nyo, syempre, kahit hindi po kayo atleta, stay hydrated. Uminom ng madaming tubig. We see just at the side of our screen, Coach Lemuel Onabe drawing on his board and trying to make their in-game adjustments as we see possession is at 40-60. And it continues to stay that way. There's Coach Carl Claudio also giving out instructions more verbally rather than using his board. But with this so far so good. Both teams yet to concede goals. Only the goalkeepers are happy, of course. They want to get their offense fine-tuned. And when we assess Garelli, they've been on the receiving end of some lopsided results. But one thing they can look forward to is that in their last 4 games, although they only got 1 win, they were able to score 3 out of 4 times. They were shut out 7-0 versus United City FC, but they did get to score versus Loyola and Tuloy FC. If that's a bright spot looking forward. Pwede rin nga natin sabihin dito para sa Maharlika Taguig FC. Sa tatlong talo nila or in their 3 losses, they were able to score in 2 of 3 games. They lost versus Manila Digger 2-1 and scored behind Lucas Del Rosario. They lost to Kaya. Yes, it was 10-1. But they did score again behind Lucas Del Rosario and the MJ Libre assist. And in their win versus Philippine Air Force FC, as we see Lucas Del Rosario once more, MJ Libre, Junior Suk Mahil, Gab Abo, and Gael Basana all got to score 1 goal each as play will continue. As we are approaching the 30th minute already. As they'll try to get this going on the left now. The likes of Uy. Uy's been decent at left back so far. As they try to take this one, not enough power to trouble the keeper. And we want to remind you that Star Polaris is the official match ball of the PFL. And that's the ball you see pictured now with the gloves, in the gloves of John Misagal. Solomon Obu. Slowly but surely again, a game of inches. Who will want it more? Who will work harder? Konting sipag lang dito, syempre ang kailangan. But in terms of shots, of course, Maharlika have 3 shots already. 2 of those on target. They want to get more shots on target, but with more power because they haven't really troubled John Misagal, who has been steady, of course. And they have tested the keeper. As it's put out of play by Otoyemi just to delay the Garelli attack. Pero may throw-in nga dito ngayon ang DB Garelli. Nahingi sila ng handball pero walang tawag dito. Play to the whistle syempre. Pero outside. Last touch syempre si Oladipo. Tandaan nga natin yung Maharlika Taguig, naka 5-4-1 formation. Yung DB Garelli FC, naka 4-4-2. Medyo pabor ang 5-4-1 sa depensa. Pero kita nga natin, pwede din yan maging o gamitin bilang offensive formation. Kailangan ng konting lang discarte lang doon o transition. As they gave this one forward now. That ball forward couldn't be controlled though by Suki. MJ Libre holding his own against a much bigger and taller player in Oladipo. Maganda ang angas, ang pinapakita ng angas ng Tondo. MJ Libre with a futsal background again, as we know. Basta may bola kayo, pwede maglaro sa kalye, sa basketball court o sa park. Futsal, pwede nga natin sabihin, football sa kalye o sa semento. And don't you forget, of course, the Philippines, it was announced, will be hosting the inaugural FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup that will take place next year dito po sa Pilipinas ulit. MJ Libre. Kita nga niya, libre si Junior Mahili, si Suke. Pero sobra daw ang kanyang pasa. Sumesenya si Suke kung paano daw ang diskarte daw sa susunod. Junior Mahili trying to tell MJ Libre how he could adjust in finding him, of course. All part of chemistry. Pinapractice nila yun, syempre. Traffic in the midfield now. Dave Bassett does well to deny. Ang kay Suki now, binigay kay Gab Abo. But so far, okay ang depensa dito ng Garelli ulit. That was well read by Banjo Mahinay. Si Banjo Mahinay nga ulit. Tandaan natin, ay ang team captain nila. Outside dito, throw-in ulit. Oh, kita nga natin halos yung mga throw-in ay para sa DB Garelli. Throw in taken quick. Oladipo. Kay Johnson. Johnson tried to take it. Pero sinalo ng depensa ng Maharlika. Ito nga si Timothy Uy. Okay ang pinapakita nga niya. Makakatulong ba siya sa opensa? Pero at may foul dito. Ball will stay with Maharlika. Gael Basan ang kanilang kapitan ulit. Ang foul. Check na natin ang replay dito. Ayun, may konting hawak. When we mentioned Gael Basana, their team captain, 1 assist, 1 goal so far ngayong season po.
Ano pong name?
Si MJ Canicosa Libre ay ang leader in assists para sa Maharlika. 2 assists so far ngayong season. Ang iba naka-assist nga ay sila Otoyemi at si Junior Suk Mahil, 1 assist each. Dito naman para sa Garelli, so we see referee Chris Mark Nanyola. 6 different players have been able to come up with an assist for DB Garelli. Johnson, Banagodos, Kumoin, Dorego, and Fornis have come up with assists. Well, I beg your pardon, Johnson with 2 already so far in this season so far. And a shout out to our friends watching on Facebook Live with the likes of Simone Rota and Mar Diano. Magandang hapon mga idol. And a shout out again to the PFL for getting the Women's World Cup as the shot is taken and it is good. The opener. Sino nga umiscore? Player number 19, Junior Suk Mahil. There's a reason why we gave him that name or his Filipino name. Yan nga ang ating dahilan. And that goal is scored in about the 36th minute. The opener for Maharlika, the undermanned Maharlika FC, doing well with the score that they've established over the week. Players, of course, who have been able to play for them and train. Junior Suk Mahil, clever. He thought he was going for the left post. But that is now on the closer one, making goalkeeper Chan Misagal work. And there you go. Sadly, DB Garelli will have to start this game on the back foot again. Pero tandaan natin, nasa first half pa lang tayo. May oras pa sila. At may halftime break din mamaya. Did you love this? They're trying to play out from the back. Hindi lang binabato ang bola rito, pero as I say that, of course, that is what they do because they did see such a talented player like Jules Kumoin get a chance or look for a good chance up front as Dave Bassa will drive it for them. Timothy Uy. Uy has spent a great time with his squad also and has been able to develop himself. Naka-Gael Basana. Throw in dito. Taken quickly. Kasi kita nga natin, libre si Del Rosario. Pero sobra ang kanyang pasa. Pero okay pa rin ang pinapakita ng Maharlika Taguig FC. Lucas Del Rosario again was asked, or we did ask him, if he gets called up to the national team, will he take it? And he definitely said he would, of course. That's one's dream to play in the international level. Yes, there's a chance now on the right. 2-1-3 though. Kumoin shifted on the right, taking it. But it was saved by Gael Basana. Or Mamadou Sen, my apologies, at his fingertips. just getting it done by the skin of his teeth. But we see what an individual effort from Kumoin. Pati ako, naduling dun kasi bigla nag-shift siya sa right side. Mamadou Sene getting the stop. Siguro pwede na rin gumawa ng nickname dito kay Mamadou Sene, no? Mag-iisip muna tayo. At dun na kay Gael Basana, ang kanilang striker. At dito ngayon sa Garelli, kailangan nila bumawi. What you like about Garelli o yung maganda pinapakita nila, hindi sila nagpapanik. They are not panicking despite finding themselves down 1-0 because teams can find themselves easily demoralized by conceding a goal, but you have to stay cool, calm, and collected. Kailangan lang ng focus, syempre. Sancho, binalik sa gitna. Johnson kay Kumoin. That's our regular connection that we see now. But here's a chance that they created, but Dave Basa with a well-timed stop. High fives in the Maharlika defense because of that from the veteran again. A former national team player getting to deny Bullen. What a great find here again from the dynamic duo of Kumoin and Johnson. But now Maharlika will deal with this corner kick. And Oladipo will send it in. 4 minutes na lang hanggat added time. Tapos halftime po mamaya. Let's see how DB Garelli will respond. It came off a man from Maharlika. Obu tried to take it, but it was denied by Victor Nkoa. As there was Del Rosario up against Bullen. May cross nga ulit dito. Dealt with again. And kay MJ Libre wanted to trigger the counter. And that was dealt with by Otoyemi. Parang si Otoyemi nagiging suki din sa depensa. Katabi ni Coach Dave Basa. As bodies were taking a fall. This game getting quite heated already. And of course, it is understandable as to why with players giving their all. Kita nga natin si Gold dito. Binigay kay Suki. Kita nga natin dun. Foul. That one was clearly seen, of course, and that foul was on Sancho. Johnsburg Sancho, to be precise. Pero okay nga yan. You love to see that sportsmanship, shaking hands after. Both players were clearly, or Sancho was clearly trying to play for the ball. As it is now with Suke, Junior Mahili, MJ Libre. Stopped by the defense though. Okay nga yung pinapakita niya sa pagka-dribble. Ang dahilan dun nga ulit kasi maganda yung footwork niya. Dahil sa futsal background niya. Libre binigay kay Timothy Uy. Timothy Uy yung fullback nila or yung left back. Pero balak niya bigay kay Del Rosario. Pero offside daw ang tawag dito. Sabi ng ating linesman. Sayang ngayon pero at least lamang pa sila 1-0 so far. Tandaan nga natin yung goal ng Maharlika was in the 36th minute dahil kay Junior Suk Mahil. At yan nga ang replay ng offside natin kanina. You be the judge. Pwede nyo ilagay sa comment section. Kung matche-check nga natin, pero what a flick right there from Johnson to Kumoin, but he fired off target. But you see the level of their talent displayed right there. Although they are no longer partners in the 4-4-2 with Johnson dropping to center mid. They are still the dynamic duo. Yan pa rin tawag natin sa kanila. Kung check nga natin si Junior Suk Mahil, who is French French and American, actually, when we look at it. And his last stint was for the San Francisco Glens. Diagonal ball, binigay kay Basana. Basana pa rin. Tried to nutmeg his man but still kept it in the process. At mukhang may substitution po tayo kahit nasa first half. Nasa first half pa rin ang ating laro. Ang papasok ay si Rederick Fornis at si Dean Bolin ang isa-sub. Si Red Fornis, taga Bulacan. Yung huling stint niya or yung mga huling teams niya ay Minjola FC at Green Archers United. Isang experienced professional player. Kaya nakuha daw ng DB Garelli United.
Player number 22. Dean Bullen, replaced by player number 24.
Here comes the corner kick. Going for Del Rosario. Over the bar and out. Outside the daw talaga. Kaya babalik ang bola sa Garelli. At sabi ni Mick John Pineda, ang fourth official natin, may 3 minutes of additional time po tayo. Garelli will try to roll the dice. And with the goal, as this one is up for grabs now. And with that goal of Junior Suk Mahil, he now pushes his personal tally to 2. So the leading scorers of Maharlika are 4 players with 2 goals each now. Victor Nkoa, Lucas Del Rosario, Gab Abo, and Junior Suke Mahili. At binato ni Basa dito kay Suke nga. Junior Mahili versus Sancho. Kay Del Rosario sa gitna. Solomon Obu with the clearance para hindi nga makuha ni Gael Basana ng Maharlika. And so far, of course, Mamadou Sen is the happier goalkeeper. Siya ngayon may clean sheet. At kung hindi umiscore ang isang team, yung goalkeeper nga may clean sheet. So kung hindi makakascore ang DB Garelli, may clean sheet ang depensa ng Maharlika at si goalkeeper na si Mamadou Sen. Pero halata, offside na daw talaga dun. Nung pinasa ang bola, nasa likod ng DB Garelli defense na daw, si Timothy Uy. Mahinay kay Zorbito. Don Bosco again with their background. Most players coming from the different Don Bosco schools here in the Philippines o dito sa Pilipinas. They did make their stint or debut in the Copa as that overhit ball was picked up by Misagal now. Rederick Fornis will try to inject life into this game but was stopped by Lucas Del Rosario. 2 promising midfielders going at it. Del Rosario wasn't pleased with that and wins a foul. But Fornis just trying to get the win there, as we know, given his team is down 1-0. And with the statistics, Maharlika scoring their 10th goal thanks to Junior Suke Mahili. And a big one for them as they want to get forward. Kung manalo ngayong Maharlika, magiging 9th place po sila sa standings. Kaya pa nila habulin yung mga iba't ibang koponan dito sa Philippines Football League. Yung header mula kay Zorbito, pero binalik kay MJ Libre. Libre just negotiating traffic well na kay Gael Basana. Basana pa rin. Pero okay pinakita ni Red Fornis kahit mas mantangkad si Basana. Nkoa. Nkoa pa rin kahit traffic daw dito. Doon daw sa kabila pero offside ang tawag ulit kasi hindi maganda ang pagkaposisyon ni Suke. At yan na po ang ating pito. Nasa halftime po tayo ngayon. That does it for the first 45 minutes in this one. Maharlika Taguig FC 1, Don Bosco Garelli United FC 0. The goal again behind that man na si Junior Suk Mahil, scoring that again in style. And that is how we find ourselves at the moment. Teams will head over to their respective huddles and will try to make adjustments. Mind you, both undermanned squads giving 110% in this one in hopes of getting that big win to push themselves further in the standings. And we'll be back after the break for your halftime analysis and statistics. We're currently at the halftime break right here in the Philippines Football League action again with Maharlika Taguig FC with a 1-0 lead over DB Garelli United FC with their goal, of course, behind Junior Suk Mahil as we bring you the highlights right here. It's been a battle in the midfield as we see Mahili, who has been making things work again alongside guys like Gab Abo and company, but they've had to deal with the likes of John Misagal. And here was a chance taken by Oladipo for Don Bosco Garelli United FC. But here's Gael Basana just trying to test the keeper. And joining me, of course, from halftime onwards will be Enzo Lucindo. We'll do an intro bit again later, but when we see the highlights here, what are your impressions in the game so far?
Well, for the first half, we actually saw Garelli dominating. And then Maharlika started to pick up, and, well, that's how they got their goal.
And we see with that fingertip save from Mamadou Sene, I think I'm getting close to getting him a nickname already. Solomon Obu, who's been playing at right back, actually, has been able to make his impact too. But we see these guys like Kumo and Johnson making it work for Garelli. Do you need to see more from these guys? And what else from Maharlika?
Well, we're hoping to see them duke it out more in the second half. And, hopefully we have a good game and we see Garelli score.
So we look at our statistics, of course. We see it. The numbers favor Maharlika Taguig FC. And hence, they've been able to pick up a goal. But what else do you have to say here?
Well, for the first half, Garelli actually had more possession until Maharlika started to control the ball more. We saw a lot of Lucas Del Rosario controlling the midfield, and he even got a few shots off until number 19 scored his goal.
Of course, that number 19 is Junior Suk Mahil. We give him that nickname, of course. That's his Filipino name. As we do know, he is French and American, as we see Maharlika Taguig making their way back to the pitch. And we want to remind you again that we are powered by 8 Cuts. So do head over to the grandstand for your onion rings. Have you had your onion ring break already, Enzo? Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm going to leave you. I'm going to get my onion rings, as I do from time to time in this game. But again, just for an intro, of course, joining me in the second half onwards will be Enzo Lucindo, do we say current or former? We say current,
Still
right?
current.
Still current. I wanted to be sure. Current midfielder for the Ateneo Blue Eagles in the recently concluded UAAP. It's always great having our analysts and, of course, who are very experienced people, oftentimes players again in the local scene, as we see some substitutions right here. We'll just run through the substitutions, of course, as we'll carry on with the proceedings for this match. So it looks like we do have Dante Terrando checking in for Maharlika Taguig FC, and we have the likes of Norman Neo checking in. Let's just check with the announcer.
Player number 3, Ode Oladipo, replaced by number 21, Norman Neo.
So there you go. That's one sub confirmed. I believe the other one is Chris Suarez. Let's look here. A second half is off.
United FC by player number Solomon Obu, replaced by number 8, Chris Suarez.
So very interesting, actually. Solomon Obu, who's been playing right back, stepped off for Chris Suarez. It's a leg-for-leg change, but Obu, we could say, has been able to establish his presence despite not playing at center back. He's given that energy as this one is off. MJ Libre, off a man. Still duking it out. Timothy, there's confirmation again. Timothy Uy checking off. So we see Chris Suarez, of course, trying to challenge MJ Libre. As Dave Basso will get it. A long ball to no man's land. I may have spoken too soon. And John Misagal got it. And of course, joining me again is Enzo Lucindo, a Ateneo Blue Eagle who recently competed in the UAAP, getting a Final Four appearance. Now here in the commentary panel, it's oftentimes we see pro players or retired players. Ikaw medyo bata pa. So welcome. Even though I don't have to give you a welcome, you've been doing our statistics also in this game. And so yung kwentuhan natin ngayon as we're calling the second half, we're gonna go behind the scenes right? So, of course, we have the laptops out. I've been bringing mine out also with the statistics. How's that
Yeah.
whole experience, and what's there that you can share to me and to the fans?
It's a great experience seeing the game from a different perspective. You know, more than just a player, I get to see it as a statistician, and it really opens. Personally, it opens my eyes on the game.
Yes, we see Libre
Okay.
was trying to get Abo. That was onside. Keeper got it, and we're off on a counter attack. As this one played long now, will the likes of Dave Basa get it along with Sene? And it was cleared off. So he is, well, let's call him Mamadou Big Daddy Sene as his nickname now. Well, with you talking about that, of course, I do get to see you work from time to time. There's a team of hardworking staff, right? It's not just you or two people. And how is that? You have about 5 people, is that right?
Yeah, we have about 5 people working the stats. Well, it's difficult keeping up because usually internationally they have one statistician per player. But you know, since we can keep up with the stats right now, we're able to see exactly what the players are able to bring.
I also understand that becomes a metric, of course, to determine man of the match, and you name it, as there's a touch taken inside the box now, and it is 2-0 for Maharlika Taguig FC. And who is our goal scorer? There's a reason again why we gave him his Filipino name. It is Junior Suk Mahil, the French-American, now the leading scorer of Maharlika Taguig this season. 3 goals to his name, especially, or don't you forget, 2 of 3 goals there scored in this season, as we see right here. Talk us through the play.
It's a wide ball, plays it to the center, good touch. Just finishes it in the back of the net with his left foot.
Cool, calm, and composed. And as that guy who assisted him said, we pronounce his name as Junior Mahili. Mind you, MJ Libre assisting Junior Suk Mahili on and off the pitch. I don't know if that deserves a goal, though, that dance. But they've been preparing for that, too. So how many people do we have again here? There's you and how many more statisticians and when there's a game?
Right now there are 4 statisticians, and usually we do have 4, but I'm also handling all the shots, calling when to, you know, put the statistics for you. But I also do statistics as well, here and there.
So, of course, there's a hard-working crew, and it shows with the simple graphics, of course. That's why we're doing this. We're interviewing you about it. We're calling the game together to just shed more light, on what's going on. As there is a corner kick that's driven in. That's picked up. It's picked up by Big Daddy. And with that, you as a player, an active player, mind you, how's that been able to change your understanding of the game and the whole experience?
I noticed when I started playing, after watching these games, after working behind the scenes, that the game slowed down for me, really, because I got to see, you know, where how it would open up because of the work that we do. Yep.
And we say, of course, slowing down in a good way because
In
you're
a good
able
way.
to improve your thinking, right? You
Yeah.
assess, do I pass here, decision making, you name it. It's like in those movies where people get to stop time, right? And they get to assess decisions much more quickly.
Yep.
As we see Banagodos driving it now for Garelli, his brother, right? BJ
Yep.
did play against you. BJ from Adamson.
Adamson, that's right.
As we see, he gets his pocket picked by Victor and Koa, giving it to Junior Suk Mahil again. Will it be a hat trick for him, though? But he's on the right wing. It is a foul from the looks of it. And you're joining us, of course. Do we say, sakto yung timing din. Let's talk about it. Your recent season in the UAAP with Ateneo. How did that go
Yeah.
for you? Final 4 finish.
Heartbreaking, really heartbreaking in the semifinals. We thought we had the game for the rest. We were leading, and then we just botched it. Last 4 minutes, FU scored, but hey, the ball is round and the game went to them. So no hard feelings on that. No regrets either.
Of course, you being high-level athletes, you guys are gonna study and assess and see where you can do better, as there's a gutsy slide from Libre to just delay that forward spell for Garelli. Kumoin was trying to make things work in the middle. It is on the left. Who will be first to it? Ends up with Victor and Koa. No, but with that, you were playing the middle, right? You can play center back or you play holding mid.
That's right. Yep. Being in that position, you really have to control the game, and being in that position, you set the tempo for your team. And as we can see, Maharlika is able to do that with Lucas, Lucas Del Rosario in the middle, and we also see what's your name for him?
Suke?
Meli. Yep.
Mahili, yeah, Suke.
Yeah, he's playing at the striker, and he's able to sometimes receive it wide, which helps the midfield build up into the final third.
So that's how it's been working well for them, we could say.
Yep.
With Garelli now, having to chase this one, the long ball over the top. It's 3-on-2 though. They're making it work. Now they'll try to get it over to the likes of Norman Neo. They'll try to move the ball up. Now, you've been juggling this, of course, doing statistics for the Philippines Football League.
Yeah.
When you do not have your games or training, right, with Ateneo in the UAAP. How was that balancing act? You guys are still student athletes too, mind you. So you're juggling academics.
The mix this and football.
Exactly.
It's a good experience, really. Yeah. I was able to balance it anyways.
Were you able? Any sleep missing here and there? As there's a chance now. And as we're just running through things, of course, we see a man down for Maharlika. And it looks like it is Jonathan Gold. Let's hope he's okay. It's always tough to see players take a fall, and tough one here. Sorry if I'm saying that word again, but it's because they have to bring out the stretcher. Very unfortunate. And this is always tough. Like when you guys get hurt on the field, there's a whole process, right?
Yeah, we really have to check on each other, and hopefully it's nothing too bad.
Yeah, that's why I just took a groan, of course, and was sad to hear referee Chris Mark Nanyola call for the stretcher. Gold's been getting some run, playing at fullback, often off the bench, but it's a lot more different, right, when you get to start the game, because that's where Gold found himself.
Yep, starting the game, you really feel the nerves, and that's when we start seeing both teams go at it. See what happened here.
Oh, there.
I think he pulled his hamstring there.
On his own, right? But when we talk about it a lot, right? Even away from games, in between games. When something like the hamstring is going to pull or give in, there's the lead up to it, right?
There's.
Maybe some wear and tear from the previous games and trainings.
Yep, fatigue. Maybe he didn't warm up properly. So that's why, guys, it's really important you warm up before doing any physical activity.
What? How many minutes do you guys spend warming up? 15 minutes stretching?
30.
No? 30 minutes.
30. Actually, even before the game, we have our activation ritual, which is it's like a pre-warm up. So we just spend our time stretching, relaxing, and then that's when we go into the actual warm up.
Yeah, I could hear the music before your semi-final game.
It's always blasting.
Getting the vibe going, right? Of course, let's get everyone locked in on the same page. As we see our substitution, Yoshio Nakamoto, another foreign player, will come in for Jonathan Gold. And that's unfortunate again that he had to step off. But now, how will Nakamoto come in and make an impact as his sub? But here we go now on the counter, working on their left wing. It's about 4-on-3. But the boys down just get the stop with the likes of Zorbito. This game it seems like it's opening up now. Lucas Del Rosario will try to chase down Johnson. And it's a throw-in in the process. With the statistics, actually, this marks the first time that we are doing all sorts of metrics, we could say. And you could say that's groundbreaking for the league, which has been on a constant rise.
Ups and downs for the league.
Of course. And there's challenges, of course, that just make us better. As there's a chance on the right wing. You were dissecting the play earlier dito sa Maharlika. But what's missing for Garelli? Because, hey, they're still in this, right? It's just 2-0. One goal gets them close.
As you can see here, they're able to get up, but they just need to be clinical. They need to start being clinical in order to get the goal. As we see here, pass wide, just thwarted.
Redrick Fornis, one of their experienced pros again. Spells previously with Minjola and Green Archers United. The most recent, of course, with the Prior. But here comes a counter on the right. Trying to go for their captain. Taking it. Easily picked up by the keeper. Didn't seem like a problem.
Nope, not at all.
They
Here
get
we
it
go,
quickly.
Garelli again.
Chagoba Johnson gives it over to the other side of the dynamic duo. Kumoin, the Ivorian, cutting it back. Tracked down though by the defense.
This is where we see Garelli dangerous. Kumoin penetrating the lines with his speed. Very quick player. He just needs to be able to finish.
You see there the ball, it's 2-on-1, well-timed, flag stayed down, walang offside. Had to cut it back because he had no angle. Taken by the defense. Play on now. Gab-Abo couldn't secure, Banagodos took it off of Basa. Kumoin took a fake. Fake left and went right. Del Rosario just knocking it back. I think you like what you were seeing if you are Garelli.
No, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't.
Why so?
Technically, they really need to step it up in the front line. Like that, he's almost falling on the ball right there.
So despite a little positive, malamang kulang-kulang pa, di ba? We could say.
Kulang pa.
There you go. Bringing in
Yeah.
that analysis.
They need to start relaxing on the ball, I think.
So you think you're still seeing some nerves here? That's why they're struggling a little bit?
Yep. That's why you see the game opening up for Maharlika, because I think they've settled their nerves already from the first half. As we see here.
Yeah, they're getting those triangles, right, that you guys talk about.
Oh, yes. And those triangles are very important because it creates lots of space for each player.
So, of course, you're talking about those players just working in harmony, right? Forming that shape.
Pass and move, constantly.
While doing that, they'll try to break down the opposing defense. We see them just taking it slowly but surely. But hey, these guys now have the luxury to manage the game, right? Given that they have the lead.
Yes, clearly it's in Maharlika's favor, and we just have to see Garelli find the resolve in this game.
As we see, there is a throw in, and we are approaching the 60th minute already. Looks like Chris Mark Nanyola's heading over to the sideline. Let's just try to take a look. Oh, looks like the linesman just needs some help with his officiating gear. But with just, of course, we'll close that stage where we're introducing you to the people. Some may know you, some may not. Sino nga ba tong Enzo Lucindo, right? They may be asking in the comment section now, bombarding us. How was this whole UAP ride? I think you've had 2 seasons already in the books.
It's been a good ride. We're hoping to see the 3rd season, good for Ateneo, of course. Just won't stop working at it. Just keep going. And that's how it is in football.
There you go. As we just want to remind our viewers, of course, that match ball you see over there is from Star Polaris, the official match ball again of the Philippines Football League. So 2 out of 5 years in the UAAP, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Are we going to see you turn pro soon? Or are you going to be joining us here in the Media Tribune, becoming an analyst, of course?
Still thinking about it. Still got 3 years ahead of me, so no rush.
No rush, as we know. But there are a few players, right, who are leaving your team when we talk about Ateneo.
Yes, our seniors, but none of them are going pro as far as I know.
I see. And just to talk about some players Ateneo has been able to develop over the course of the season, and over their time, of course, as an institution. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
There's Harvey Gayoso,
Of course.
Rupert Banya. I'm mentioning players from my time, actually.
Yeah. We also have Third Glossa and Loyola.
There you go.
He just graduated last year.
He's a fan favorite, actually.
He is.
One of the first players to get their own chant, mind you. Well, I'm not going to say the chant here, of course, because that's the job of their supporters. Right.
That's interesting.
We'll see it right here now. So DB Garelli again are in their orange uniforms playing from left to right. Maharlika Taguig FC playing from right to left are in their white as Dave Basa will chase this one down up against Frederick Fornis, the speedster.
There you go.
Sending it to the middle now. But this one out and about by Baclason, the strike partner of Jules Comoin up front. And it's still the same assessment, you think? Or are you seeing any improvements over?
I'm starting to see them build up. It's really just that. Just him receiving it there. He needs to settle down. He's too nervous.
And this one is different for everyone. But how do people settle their nerves, right? Because walang camera sa training. There's no crowd in training, right? That's something that's only there on game day.
Yeah, it's all in the mind. All in the mind. You gotta learn how to control your breathing. Also, that's a very important part for me because once you get nervous, you also get tired. You won't be able to think.
You just start breathing faster, right? Now that you mentioned, does that happen?
Yep.
Interesting.
That's what my coach keeps telling me. Just relax, you know.
Gael Basana, you could say pretty much beat Banjo Mahinay and took that shot. It was denied by Misagal, though, was clearly out of his 6-yard box. And we saw Mahinay and Misagal a little unhappy as they were not in the same page. And there's a look again at Gael Basana, their team captain. But it's a corner kick. We see MJ Libre once more. How do you see this one going with the corner kick? Just punched out,
Yeah,
though.
just punched out.
Dave Basa, mind you, a defender, trying to join the attack. Keeper off his
He's
line.
been playing a good game this game. You know, he's a big guy. He's not that quick, but he's able to get to the spaces. Quite impressed with him.
Dave Basa, as we know, very experienced. A former national team player.
So we see Jules Comoin go down here. Let's hope he's okay. Okay, he's stood up.
Yeah, he was squaring off with Yoshio Nakamoto. We see the replay. Both players going hard. May konting extension dyan ata. And because of that, there's a free kick. I think this will have to be played once more. And we have the yellow card.
Baka may sinabi siya.
And it was given to Nakamoto.
Oh.
That just adds up, right? Maybe the hard foul and then some side comments here and there.
Refs hate hearing that side comments. They won't stand for it.
But with players, of course, you're going through that experience, right? When you play, you guys are just so locked in, right? Just like that adrenaline just running through you guys. That's why things may come out here and there.
Yeah, it gets hard to keep it in sometimes.
As it's punched out by Big Daddy Mamadou Sene. Banagoro's got it back. So they're driving it forward again now. Banjo Mahinay. It's at the edge of the goalkeeper box. And we have a whistle here going Garelli's way.
Good spot.
We see the disbelief, though, of Dante Terrando. Discussions on the pitch. Of course, referee Chris Mark Nanyola has been controlling this game, an experienced man. So we'll review that incident.
You know, Dante Terrando was able to train with us a few times in the Ateneo team.
Really?
Yeah, he was an intern for our staff, Coach AP. He's a really good player there. And I've been impressed with him this season recently because of how he played.
But is he also pursuing his studies in Ateneo?
No more. No, he's in PUP.
Okay, as an intern for the team itself. Oh,
Yep.
that's so great to see.
Yeah.
Schools collaborating.
And then now we see him here in Maharlika.
And it's a lot different, right? You train with people and then you get to see them in such a big stage like this,
Yeah.
right? It makes you happy. To
Very
see.
happy, very happy.
Yeah. Happy for them, and then also you get to gauge yourself against such experienced people.
Oh, yeah. sometimes I wonder how would I fare in the pro in the pro ranks.
Interesting. That is exactly why I popped that question to you a while ago to ask you about your UAP eligibility and will you be turning pro and this and that. Of course, it's a tough process because when we got to see the UAAP, of course, as this is now taken
Ooh,
and
what a
saved
save.
by Senna. The follow-up was no good. Kumawing close, but not quite. This in disbelief again, because he came close a number of times in this game.
Again, there about UAP eligibility as players, we would like to see a rule where college players could play in the league and still keep their UAP eligibility. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's a good one because I've been saying it also in the previous games here, in the PFL. If you want to be the best, you gotta go against the best. And as we say that,
Yep.
the best, Davao, Stallion,
Kaya,
Taguig,
Taguig.
Cebu. How many players is that, right? We almost named half the league. That's how many high caliber teams we have right here.
I know, seeing the quality here in the PFL, especially amongst those top teams, it's really different from UAP.
As this one ping pongs around, some shirt pulling here and there. It's with Mahinay. We'll try to reset. But going back, of course, we did have the Copa Paulino Alcantara
Yes.
last year, and that was deemed as an open tournament where amateur clubs, collegiate teams, armed forces get to square off with the big boys, the professional teams from the Philippines Football League. And that allowed them also to gauge the level of Philippine football and how teams are, because we've seen the pro league here, the PFL, just grow bit by bit,
Yep.
because we've seen a number of Filipinos born overseas exposed to high-level clubs and leagues. Because of their training, they came here. They're making everyone better, right? They're making guys like you better.
That's
you getting
true.
to play
That's
against
true.
them.
Just playing against really good players is a good way to step up your game. That's why the Copa Paulino Alcantara was a good opportunity for many players to see where they are in the football scheme.
Of course, now you're wearing your analytical hat. Three UAAP teams did join the Copa Paulino Alcantara, mind you. There's FEU,
I heard.
UP, and Adamson.
Yep.
Are you surprised 2 of 3 teams there actually ended up playing in the finals in the UAP, UP, FEU?
Not surprised. Not surprised. I think that could have helped them get there. That the Copa Paulino Alcantara, because of the level that they were able to play at there.
It seemed quite surreal seeing UP square off with Kaya. We saw FEU also go up against Kaya because they were in the same groups. I hear some Kaya boys actually, or some FEU boys, have
yes,
attracted
they're-
interest from Kaya.
Like Martini Ray.
And Basandanan, of course, but let's wait for that official word from them, right? We've been hearing that. It's been the
Here
talk
and there.
of the community, right? As it is now with Nakamoto. He'll have to be careful with his yellow card.
Offside.
Sneaky offside there, despite of play slowing down a bit. And we have the signal for our cooling break. We normally have 2 cooling breaks per half, but it looks like it's been a great day for football. It's been overcast with no rains. That is why we've been having a cooling break at the halfway mark of each half, essentially dividing the game into 4 parts. This is somewhat like a checkpoint, nagiging timeout. Did this change the flow of the game for you, with you as a player? That rule was introduced and you were like midway into your playing career as a
I think
kid?
so. During high school, I was able to experience the water breaks, and it really helped us, space out our energy levels, you would say. So rather than just trying to pace it out, we have a water break to look forward to and recollect ourselves.
So you get to also sort that out, I say, mentally, with how you plan to approach the game and sorts.
Slightly.
As we saw with our statistics, 8 shots to 5 so far in this one. 8 shots for Maharlika, 5 for DB Garelli. Well, Maharlika, of course, with more efficiency or accuracy, because 8 of those shots, 6 are on target. As we saw Jonathan Gold really quick on the bench It's great to see, of course, that injury isn't as bad and he's able to just move around a little bit.
As well as Maharlika having more passes, way more passes than Garelli. And that's what I've been saying, how Maharlika was able to control the midfield with, how they control themselves too.
I actually haven't seen a difference that big, 210 to 88. Madalas,
Rarely.
you see one team a little 10 to 20 passes above or below the other.
Yeah, but
that's huge.
not almost double.
But what does that say in that game? Is that because Garelli aren't able to work their way in, as you said? Hindi nakasettle. They're still nervous.
Yep. It seems like it's nerves, but it also seems technical. I don't know if it's because of they're nervous, it affects their technical, or because they're not technically sound, it makes them nervous. But
Right.
They just need to step up this game.
It can work both ways. But they did say it was that process of also getting themselves into prime condition.
Yeah.
DB Garelli do train in the likes of Don Bosco Makati, actually.
Yes, and I heard the field there isn't the best.
I heard, of course, it was on the receiving end of the harsh weather that we had. So
Mga buhangin lang.
I know they also ended up training in the likes of Cherry, an artificial turf also that was put up quite recently here in Metro Manila.
And we saw in their last game, they lost to Tuloy.
4-1.
4-1. Would you say that where they train affects how they play?
I like to think so also, as they're asking for a handball. Referee takes no interest there because essentially our coaches would preach, right? Whatever grassroots sports, what you show in training shows in the game, right?
And yes, that's very factual. You really have to give it all in your training. And with the way Garelli has been playing, it's like they don't have heart. Sorry to say. But hey, the ball is round and let's hope they show it.
They can just get that punch all of a sudden here that could inject extra life into them again. Or they did display that actually in that 4-2 win over Minjola FC 1991.
They did, and I was really surprised to see them lose like that to Tuloy. But
Kasi sayang eh, nandun na eh, di ba?
Sayang, yeah.
Nanalo na.
But here they are. They have the ball right now. Seem a little more composed. Just plays a ball out wide of handball.
You're asking for it again, but they still keep the fire alive now. But there's some hard-nosed defense from Victor Nkoa showing he could work two ways, of course. Because when we look actually at the losses of both teams, Maharlika and DB Garelli, they've actually been able to score in losses. Yes, you lost, but there's one thing, right? You spoil the clean sheet of the opponent, and
Yeah.
you can say, hey, we scored. Maybe we would have won if we played better defense. It can
That's
work,
true.
right?
Gives them a little sense of hope, as we see here.
Gael Basana, the captain again.
He's been playing an important role too, with just tanking through the lines. As you can see, his big figure is able to control his area there.
And he has a burst of speed, though, mind you. Right. It's a different kind of speed as opposed to a guy like Junior Suk Mahil, right? Who will just outrun you on a sprint. Well, Basano's gonna bump you here and there.
It's what we call explosiveness.
Explosiveness. And Basano, we could suppose, can even be like a target man of sorts, just winning the ball. But he's been able to run through, as you said, a tank plowing through. But that nickname's already been taken by Jalsor Soriano because he plays for Army.
I see. Oh, that's another story at Army team,
Yeah.
with how they play.
And of course, we will be able to see Army play tomorrow versus Loyola FC at 9 p.m. So 15 minutes remaining. And how do you see this for both teams? What do you want to see? Garelli need to fight back. Maharlika want to manage.
I'd really like to see Garelli
Oh,
fight back over
Open
here.
goal.
Kumoin.
I think he just answered the question for you.
There we go. There we go. Let's go, Garelli.
Jules Kumoin, their man up front, who continues to lead them by example. And he is clearly the leading scorer of their team. 5 goals already. What a campaign for this guy. He's carrying this team. He's giving them life.
Uh, And I recall he's gotten man of the match also one time.
A number of in their wins, yes, I think so. As they resume play now, but they're just showing this beauty for finish from the Ivorian. And I hear he's actually still quite young, medyo bata pa, just like you, just to remind people. Here's a chance to answer
he's-
back.
Never mind.
Oh! Hey, and
Is-
look who it is.
It's him again.
It's Junior Suk Mahil.
That's a hat trick.
Hat trick for the man we did ask a while ago. Is he gonna get the hat trick? Yes or no? And he does answer it again. Junior Suk Mahil. Just racking it up for them. 4 goals now, the outright leading scorer of Maharlika Taguig FC.
And it's another assist by Basana. He's really been the engine of this Maharlika team. Along with Lucas Del Rosario, they're really controlling this midfield.
We see there, sadly, Misagal, a sitting duck as Suke got past the back line. We've seen that celebration more than once too.
It's the third time he did this.
I think he goes and says, I'm going to do this every time he scores. Some players have their celebrations, right? Got a goal. But we see now the confidence just getting injected into Maharlika.
Yes. Yes.
Baclason was whistled with a yellow. I think he was quite desperate to stop MJ Libre.
Let's hope that Garelli still uses that goal to push them forward. Let's hope they don't give up.
Right, as we saw here. Sadly, it's a gift. But hey, that was a duty foul, right? They had to make a business decision when we refer to Aljon Baclason. Had to stop the play.
Oh yes, that's what we call a duty foul. A duty foul is in order to stop the attack and let your own team recollect and get behind the ball again.
We hear duty foul, professional foul, you name it, right?
Yep. All of those terms.
Let's call it a business decision here for our average Joes, right? Pros and cons. As they
See
find
Basana collecting it here.
Dave Basa, mind you. Dave Basa. Coach Dave Basa, mind you, the coach of UST, who you'd play against. Playing for the same
right.
school too, mind you.
Yeah.
So I got used to calling him coach actually because Dave Basa did coach Maharlika Taguig in the Copa last season.
Did he?
Where they made the quarterfinals. And I thought he was going to switch to coaching for good, and Anton Del Rosario must have done something to bring him back.
Well, that's another example. Anton Del Rosario. He's old enough to coach too, but
Right.
he's still playing.
I'm going to bring up the joke now that we're here, of course. I got to talk to them in the locker room earlier this season. Are you guys related? Lucas jokingly goes, oh, he's my dad. But we're laughing because that is not the case, right? Yeah, I actually shared with the viewers, actually, the story of Lucas Del Rosario. So he was playing in the USA in the same tournament as Anton Del Rosario. Lucas Del Rosario, knowing who Anton is, as we know, just introduced himself and he got a spot here. Sa Maharlika.
Well, that's how he got here.
That's a chance na Kumoin. Close,
Very
but
close.
not quite. Looks like the keeper did his job there, right?
It was a good save by Big Daddy.
Big Daddy,
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy Mamadou Sene. Of course, because we call him Big Daddy because he's the owner of his box, as we saw.
Looks like it.
There's Django Bad Johnson. Will we see more from him, actually? Because he's that guy, oftentimes in tandem with Jules Kumoin. Nakamoto. Just given so much space here. As Fornis was decked. Fornis, of course, much smaller than his counterparts. Won it for them. When we take a look, actually, at our schedule, Later, we have Stallion and Menjola squaring off, right? Two established PFL teams. We have Davao and Taguig. Top teams also
That's a good
facing
game.
off. Yeah. What you looking forward to here? Our next two games.
Just more goals, more quality. I'd love to see what's that last game again?
Davao and Taguig. That's big.
That's a big game for two teams that they're at the top, like at the top of the league. The win of Davao last week against Stallion, that was big for them, huge for them. As we saw Sato, very emotional over it. What do you have to say about him being emotional over it?
Oh, with Sato, I really do know that he takes everything to heart, right?
Right.
As we see Nakamoto on the left, waiting for support over to Del Rosario. With what you said, of course, I do remember there was the AFC Challenge Cup where the Philippines fell to Maldives. Sato stood in the Philippine technical area, watched the entire awarding. I think so, just to fuel him
Wow.
and get him going. And he's been able to channel that. So we hope we'll see him channel that, not just with the club team, but also in the national team, right? As this was taken in. A
Kante.
diving header. Close, but not quite. I thought I was going to see a Chinese get-up right there. I think it's from Dante Tirando.
Would
What a-
love to see him score, especially training with him in the past.
You love the hustle, right? Would have been a banger. Diving header. Konting athleticism, no? Extra.
Going the extra mile to just hit the
Right.
ball in.
You get points for style when we're watching, but not here, right? In the statistics that you're
No,
doing.
of course not. A goal is a goal.
A
no
goal
matter
is a
what.
goal, right? You get points for style if it ends up becoming a highlight, right? But here in our analytics, it's straight to the point.
Of course, becoming a TikTok edit is just a bonus.
TikTok edit, Instagram reel, you name it. As the score is 3-1 again, Junior Suk Mahil with a hat trick to his name and is the outright leading scorer of Maharlika Taguig. As it was Jules Comoin again. One goal. Will it be a consolation? Let's see, right? Because
Let's see.
most of his goals, sad to say, have been consolation goals in the scenario of the games.
That's too bad for him. He's a really good player. I'd like to see more of him excel in this stage.
I think a big guy who's actually missing, or a big player, is Leo Fonteles de Quiros, one of the Brazilian strikers, or the Brazilian striker of DB Garelli. He did say he is injured and he may be back after a few weeks.
That's too bad.
Injuries, as we know, always tough, right? It's not just a matter of sitting down and recovering.
There's a lot that goes into recovering from an injury. It takes a lot of mental fortitude and effort to just get back onto the field. And when you're back on the field, you don't even know if you can play the same way you did before.
That's the next thing I wanted to ask you, actually, as Lucas Del Rosario just showed us his fantastic footwork to get a shot, but it wasn't enough for a goal. Well, we have a man checking in now for Coach Carl Claudio. It is John Tirado. As we do see Aljun Baklason check off, and it's been a tough day for him. Getting a start alongside Jules Comoin. One goal to show for Jules. But there's no check mark here, of course, in saying anything like mission accomplished. They have their work cut out.
Yeah, at this point, it's sort of safe to say Maharlika has the game.
Of
We'll
course,
see. We'll see.
you could say they have it, of course, because they do have that. They do have that, let's say, license to manage the game, right?
Yep, 2 goals ahead, and Garelli not really showing much on their attack anymore.
I got the right word now. They do have the luxury of managing the game, right?
Yep.
They've been given that, of course, or it's been awarded to them thanks to their hard work. There's Del Rosario.
Yep, as we can see, Garelli isn't really stepping up on their press anymore. They're just sitting here in the upper mid block. Maybe they're hoping to pick the ball up and have a quick counter.
There's some press
Right
right,
there.
there. What
By
you said.
Jules Kumoin again.
He did hear you now. Will he make it a brace? Tried to flick it back heel though, couldn't get it to Fornis. Lucas Del Rosario gets it. Some space now. Nakamoto giving it back to Basana, the captain.
Looks like he got tripped here. That would be a yellow.
And ditto again, what you said earlier, what we were talking about, right? Having to stop him, duty foul, or maybe this one was too tough while trying to get the ball. And a skilled guy like Basana. Yeah,
It seemed like a duty foul. He didn't have to do that.
there you go. Basana, the bulldozer, winning another free kick. It's from the left, and we do have the usual suspects in Lucas Del Rosario and MJ Libre. But they have to deal with this wall. But there's the card confirmation over to Banjo Mahinay, their captain, actually. Now a three-man wall. How do you see this one?
Like to see a good pass curl in and beautiful header into the goal. But let's see what he has up his sleeve. It's either Libre or Del Rosario taking it. Looks like Del Rosario
In swinger.
in swing, as I called it.
On target too, mind you.
See here, Garelli just giving the ball away again.
And the time continues to tick. And I think we could say, with the flow of the game, it's not looking good for Garelli.
Not
Chasing
looking
it. Looking good for Maharlika, mind you.
Looking very good for Maharlika, especially Junior Meili with a hat trick. Possibly man of the match.
I think so, of course. But other than the goals, right, you do get to track their efficiency with...
Passing, dribbles.
There you go.
Shots too. We have a stat sheet here that shows the percentages. It's really interesting to see how, how their impact in the game also translates onto the stat sheet. Because you could also have an impact in the game but not have great stats.
That's true. I think that's why there's a game where Stefan Schrock was still named man of the match, despite his percentages, right?
That caused a lot of controversy.
That's right. Because a few weeks before that, there were people asking why was Grog named man of the match, and I actually replied because I saw the statistics. I didn't call that game, but I did see he had 6 of 6 dribbles completed, with the way he just got Taguig to propel themselves over Army.
Right,
I
right.
recall. As a chance now, Fornis
Oh.
denied by Big Daddy Sene again. Fouled in the process though. I don't think he was hit down low, thankfully. But it's a foul, right? It's with the keeper's gloves, and he still sees some swinging of the ball, trying to play for the ball. No foul from the looks of it. Keeper,
Plays on.
referee just gave the keeper some time, right? But yeah, going back, we're just discussing this in a little more detail because, of course, you're the hard-working man behind the scenes with your crew doing the stats.
Thank you.
So there's a guy like Patrick Grog, right? 6 dribbles completed. I think about 2 assists too, mind you. Yung assists medyo automatic, di ba?
Yes, yes. So aside from the impact, we also count goal contributions like assists. Sometimes you could not score a goal, but then have a big impact on the goals of your team because of goal contributions.
Contribution, is that because you take at least a touch in the build-up? Is that right?
Oh no, maybe it's the pass before the goal, or the pass to the goal.
Okay.
5 minutes.
There you go. 5 minutes of additional time as our 4th official, Mick John Pineda, confirmed again. As Sene will reset. And I don't say this is up for debate, but it's a little subjective. How do you determine assists? Because sometimes you pass it to a player, someone like Suke, and he's gonna dribble all the way.
Right.
Mawawalan yung assist if he dribbled from the half line, right?
No, it's more of how you set up the player to score. So,
Okay.
for example, if you make a through ball and then he finishes in the goal, that play mostly came from the one who gave the assist.
Right. Sometimes they say a good pass leads to a good shot.
Yeah, but then if you just lay it off for him and then he dribbles, beats five men, there's no way you can count that as an assist.
Case in point, there's someone here who can do that by the name of MJ Libre. Play for Maharlika as we see a man down for DB Garelli. It's been that type of day and game for them. But
Second player down.
yes, unfortunately. And we see it's Neo who came off the bench. He'll be getting some treatment from their physiotherapist who is making his way, as we saw briefly. Well, there's a triple substitution now. Ravanes, Falle, and Cebuja will come on. And someone who deserves an ovation has got to be Gael Basana, as you said earlier, with the way he was playing so well.
Correct. That's Junior Bailey going out.
That's right. As we see Basana now coming on, but
Now.
there, that's
Yeah.
Junior Suk Mahil, who deserves an applause. Also, 3 subs.
Vasana also, he was very good this game.
Lucas Del Rosario, pictured again, one of the players. So to summarize again, the players out are Del Rosario, Junior Suke Mahili, and Gael Basana.
Would name these 3 players the key to winning this game, as well as Dave Basa in the backline controlling it really, no matter how big he is.
Those 3 players subbed off could move forward in confidence, I presume, given that Dave Basa has their back.
Yep.
Free kick,
Okay, straight to the wall.
the wall doing its job. Panagoros will resume this one. Just going back with the assist, I think we did have a chat. After you pass the ball to a player, if he takes more than 3 touches, is that when the assist is negated? Is that right?
No, it's more of who put the most effort towards the goal.
Okay,
If
so
you
it's-
could put it into that perspective.
So it's not essentially fixed, right? There's a lot of judgment that goes into it.
Yep.
So
A
not
lot of
essentially the 3 touches. As we're going to see a long throw. I believe that was from Dante Tirando. Taken down the line, just trying to channel the Anton Del Rosario in him. You did get to see his long throws, right? Anton Del
Back in the
Rosario.
day, yep.
Yeah, back in the day. I think we can talk about it. Our age is a little closer as compared to our colleagues. Not taking a dig or anything, but we watched the same players growing up.
Growing up, you used to see Anton Del Rosario for the Meralco Sparks throwing it.
Tama, also with Kaya.
Austin Kaya, that's right.
Throwing it from northern Metro Manila to the south. I think we'll use that when Anton comes back. But here comes Garelli now. Yes, time may be expiring, but if they can get one, the pace of this game will absolutely change. But at this rate, it is with Maharlika Taguig. An impending result that favors them as they'll try to just move their way up in the standings to 9th place. MJ Libre. Just sent it to the opponent. Not often you say that, though.
No.
And they'll just try to kill the momentum here. Abo.
Yeah, at this point, we can probably see Maharlika just keep the ball and let the clock run, as we have a minute left.
But let's assess now the road forward for the 2 teams, right? I think Maharlika still have some top teams they gotta face, and they're coming off a win. How about for Garelli? Let's go through both sides.
Yeah. Well, seeing both teams and how they performed recently, hopefully for Maharlika in this game, they can use this to step up against bigger teams. And for Garelli, let's hope that they use it as a learning point
Right,
with their past 2 losses.
as they said, yes, because when we did speak to their staff before the game, what they did say is they do not want to be making the same mistakes every single game.
That's
As
right.
Coach
That's right.
Ram Tarin did say. As it is sent back to Big Daddy Sene.
So we hear the whistle.
But there you go. Referee Chris Mark Nanyola gives us the full-time whistle. 3-1 for Maharlika Taguig FC. An undermanned Maharlika Taguig FC, mind you. Versus also the undermanned Don Bosco Garelli FC. A lot of players unavailable, injuries, you name it. But Coach Lemuel Onabia, who is standing in for Coach Lurch Enjang, did say that this core that they formed here, with who is available, they were doing well in training. That's what they showed right here this afternoon.
That's very clear. Despite being undermanned, they still came off with a win. So, hats off to Maharlika.
And they did have that confidence again, as we see confirmation again. A hat-trick from Junior Suke Mahili. And yes, that is how you pronounce his name, as MJ Libre confirmed. MJ Libre, again, the man who often assists him, doing so on the pitch and off the pitch, as we do see Jules Comoin come up with a consolation goal for DB Garelli. Kumoin again pushes his personal tally to 5. But it's all smiles and high fives for Mahili. As I think Gael Bazano is asking for that celebration again. We might need statistics on that though because they keep on repeating it. But this, you gotta love the sportsmanship at the end of the day, right? Everyone just trying to go for each other in the field, but after, hey, it's handshakes everywhere, right?
Yep, what happens on the pitch stays on the pitch. Nothing personal. It's just a game.
Nothing personal, just a game. I love it. And you were saying, of course, UAP was over because that's where you play, right? And
Right.
you guys just hanging out with one another, the, the different players.
Yeah. Just last night, we were out, and just, we was out with the UP boys, and well, found it annoying that they won, but but hey, that's the game, and we love it for that.
Right. And as you say, the ball is round. And Junior Suk Mahil doing his magic. As we are getting some closer shots right here now. And let's see if we will officially get him as our man of the match and have some pictures of him. But here's a look at the highlights. And could you talk us through the game, how it went from kickoff all the way to the end?
Yep, again, during the first half, Garelli was dominating with quite many shots, and until Maharlika picked it up and they found their confidence and started to find the back of the net.
And that was a super save, mind you, because it was early in the game.
That's
If
right.
Kumoin found the back of the net, that would have changed the
It would have been an
entire
entirely
flow.
different game.
You see here, Gael Basana did impress you, as you said. Not succeeding there, but grabe yung impact, di ba?
Big impact, big impact. If Mahili didn't score a hat-trick, I would have named him man of the match, surely.
There was another goal from him again. Suke, as we say. And just to translate that, of course, as Filipino for regular customer. Why? Because he's a regular customer in Maharlika's offense. And we coined the name deservingly a few games ago, mind you. But there was a big save from Big Daddy Sene again, putting this guy in disbelief. But Kumoin eventually struck gold, right? When we refer to him personally.
Right. He just kept going at it and eventually found the back of the net. And that's why we need to see more of we need to see Garelli do that more, actually. Just keep going at it. But as we see, after they scored, he just switched off. They just switched off, and that's why Maharlika was able to tuck in the third goal.
And you saw Maharlika got to end it comfortably too, because nandun yung cushion, di ba?
Yep.
Just in case they concede, they do have that fallback of sorts, but Kumoin just tried and tried. But sadly for Garelli, is back to the drawing board again. But hey, as we say, they will learn from this experience, as we know in the sporting world and in the Philippine football scene, as we see this game was also physical. But there you go. That does it here. Up next, we do have Stallion Laguna FC and Mindiola FC in 1991 for match number 2. But again, it is Maharlika Taguig FC 3, DB Garelli United FC 1. And we'll sign off from the first game and hand you over to our second one in a bit. And we'll give you a big thank you in behalf of Direct Koy Yopanco. This was Clara Manzano on call for this one alongside Enzo Lucindo. Goodbye from the first game, but we'll catch you in the next one.
People always try to put me down on the ground, but I never be jealous, cause I'm the right